Hey guys, Buckskin Dave here. Welcome to another episode in the shop. Well, all this snow we're supposed to get didn't amount to squat, but the wind is blowing hard and it's pretty chilly out there. So I'm going to continue working in the shop a little. I got the end of this tube threaded with the square threads. I'll show you that right here in a minute. I had a coyote catch yesterday, so I'll bring you out there for just a second, and when you get back we'll take a look at this. As always, grab a cup of coffee because we're going to have some fun today. Well, there's a coyote catch this morning. Actually not a bad looking dog either. Got him in a wolf trap and he's got a pretty long drag on him. So, okay, so I have this tightened down, so I got to take it off, and I'm using a piece of aluminum in there so it doesn't mar the steel. Get that off. And what I want to show you here, the next step is right here. This is where it's sticking through the action, and the block fits in this square. So we have to machine off, I don't know, I'd say probably 1/4 of an inch of this stub that sticks out here. And we want to machine it off to the perfect lengths so that when that block comes up, it is right against there. There's no space, not even a couple thousandths. We want it to come up. We don't want it to rub, but we don't want a big space there, because when I chamber this, the rim of the cartridge is going to sit inside the chamber just a bit, and we're going to make that sit in there so that it's flush with this piece of the stub, and that's our headspace. That'll be the base of the brass will rest against there, and that'll be our headspace. So what we need to do first is take this off. I measured this earlier, and the headspace is 750 thousandths. Okay, and this stub is 930 thousandths. So we have to take it off about to there. And then once we get it head spaced where we want it, then I'll round this off and machine it off so that it has a nice appearance. The square threads, that machining was a pain, and it's a tedious job, and you got to pay attention. It's kind of really hard to film. But the thing is you put it on as slow as your chuck will turn, and cut them threads with a tool that I made. Where is that tool at? Here it is. And you want plenty of clearance. See, I got a little bit of a half circle at the top so that the chip could come off this way, and then the sides are also worked in, so it's thinner at the bottom. So anything that has, if any chip wants to go that way, it can go that way without clouding up the tool. So I don't know, you probably buy a tool. I just ground this one out. When you're grinding them, you have to be really careful too. You don't want it to get too hot because it'll soften the steel. And you want that to be as hard as you can. As hard as it can be so it'll cut this chromoly stub. So anyway, I have another history rifle that I want to go over with you. This one's pretty cool because I've been the only owner of this gun since it was bought back in 1982. So let me get it out and we'll set up over here and show you a little bit about the history of this gun. Okay, so usually I do this outside and we'll take a few shots at the gong, but it's miserable, and if we go outside now your coffee will get cold too fast. So make sure it's good and hot. I bought this rifle in 1982, and when I bought it, it was a 22-250, and it's a Winchester featherweight. It doesn't have the big claw extractor, but it does have. Let's see if you can see it. It has the extractor on the bolt, and it's not exactly a Seiko type extractor, but it's similar, and it's on the bolt and it's inside there, and the bolt will close. You know how some of them claw extractors, if you don't run it through the magazine so it can slide up underneath the edge of the rim, this one will close. You can just throw around on the top of the magazine and it'll close with that extractor. Anyway, it was a 22-250, and I bought it mainly because I was really getting into doing a lot of coyote hunting back then. So I wanted a 22-250. I believe it came with a 12 twist, which for 22-250 nowadays is a little slow if you want to use heavier bullets, but man, did it shoot the 55s and the 50s really, really good. I set the barrel back once because it started to wear in the throat. And then the second time I went to set the barrel back, I decided I had another 22-250 that I was using, and it had shot a lot of coyotes over the years, and I needed a 308. So I rebarreled this action to 308, and it was a pretty easy job, except this thing was born a 22-250, and the magazine box inside the wood was just barely long enough for a 22-250. It wouldn't fit a 308 case. It had a wall in it, so I had to remove the wall, which I had to grind that out, and I had to break it open and then re-weld it back together and clean it up so that it would take a 308 round. And so I did that and put it back in. The wood was good, and I kind of like the wood on it actually. And this is a medium weight 308 barrel with a 10 twist, so it'll run. I run 180s through it for hunting elk, and it works really good. It's full floated, and this is a Leupold a 4.5 by 14 scope. It has a side parallax, but it doesn't have exposed turrets, which make it kind of better for hunting in my opinion. This rifle has hunted elk with me probably to the tune of probably 15 elk over the years. I built this a long time ago, and Sarah's kind of claimed this rifle now. She's taken a couple elk with it. She shoots it really, really well. So it's pretty much her elk and deer gun. She likes the way it shoots. Being a featherweight, even with this little bit heavier barrel, she really likes the gun. So from 1982 to now, here's where it sits. Like I say, the stock is still in pretty good shape. Actually, it's in really good shape, considering it's been in a pickup truck a lot. It's got a little bit of a rubber recoil pad. And it's crowned out at 11 degrees. So anyway, that's the history of that rifle. It shoots just accurate as, I mean, it's a really good rifle. Oh, I also, when I put this together, I went ahead and pillar bedded it. So it's bedded in pillars even though it's a wood stock. It's got a rock solid bed job. I'm going to start facing this down. This is a job I take very slow. Keep a lot of coolant on there, and we'll get it down to about 700, and we know our headspace is 750 thousandths. And I'll get it down to where it's, my length is about 770 thousandths, and then I'll take it down really slow after that. Anyway, I'm going to continue working on this for a while because the weather's for shit outside. So rather than go outside and fight that, I'll work in the shop. I'm a measure it 3 times, cut it once kind of guy. Or actually cut it right kind of guy. I'm getting close. I got to get to 750 and I'm at 860, so we're getting close. Once I get close, like if I get down, I need to be at 750, so once I get around 765, I'll start putting the block in and taking it down. I'll change my feed and speed to get more of a nice finish, and I'll take it off a little bit at a time so I get a really smooth finish. And then once it's right to the right spot where the bolt slides up behind it, then I'll go ahead and round it off and purdy it up a bit. Then after that, the next step will be cut the chamber. So stick with me. One of the other things I got to do, they've been seeing a couple of lions running around with some cubs out where I've got some traps. I'm catching some badgers for a guy that's kind of making his field a little bit like the surface of the moon. And in case I was to catch one of them cubs or even mama in a trap, I'm going to make what's called a release board for unwanted catches. It kind of protects you. So stick with me. We'll get that made. And I'm glad you stopped by this time. I'll see you next time on Buckskin Dave. Have a great day. Enjoy your coffee and the rest of your day. Bye-bye.